Hey guys, welcome back to City Skylines in the wonderful city of First City. Um, Today we're going to be doing a couple of things, but before we get into that, this is actually my second time recording this video. First time, I ran into some technical issues, thought I finally got them resolved, and then the game crashed on me. So here we are going about this in round two. Um, a little unfortunate because it was actually a good portion of the way and I didn't have autosave on, and so I lost quite a bit of I lost everything we had done since the end of last episode. So we're gonna go through and kind of make some more of those tweaks and make some more of those changes and kind of get back into the episode. So uh, one of the things that we left off with in the last episode was or not left off with, but we did in the last episode was we were over here and we kind of worked in this area and we redid a lot of this area, or we enhanced a lot of this area. And I said I wanted, I grew up and I had a historic post office. And while this post office looks, you know, really nice actually for the post office, I love the corner view of it and everything. It's not really the post office of my memory and what I think of when I see a post office in small town America. It's close. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's we can do better than that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick, and we're going to get rid of this post office, and then we're going to come in here. And fortunately, the workshop provided us with a very lovely post office, and this is much more the what I think of when I think of the post office where I grew up and where I live currently, um, and actually near where I work too. It's very much a small town America post office to me, and so very happy with this asset. Um, there's a couple of different assets we got when we went in here. I have this historic post office, but this is definitely something for a much larger area, and I don't really want to use that in this area. I think it kind of just it's too loud, if you know what I mean, like as far as post offices go. But I did find another post office, and in thinking of kind of the need for a post office over here in the commercial district, I think this post office actually fits really well in this area. So if we look at it, we'll see, it's very just industrial and to the point, and not a whole lot to it. There is the need for access to the back, and I think the way we're going to solve that is either we're going to come in here and we're just going to um, paint some space for those vehicles to be able to move off of, or in our case, that doesn't really work. Let's find some of our ploppable concrete. So let's come down here, and those are pavers. It's not really what I'm looking for. No, I thought I had the ploppable concrete here, but maybe I don't. So let's see. There we go, pavement. So let's see if we've got some good pavement to kind of go in here and do what we need. Do what we need it to do. Those are just the decals, so I think we're gonna have to go with. We can just go with our 4x4 pavement here. We'll actually do 4x16. We'll just come in here, and it doesn't have to be anything too significant, just enough to provide some smaller level of access for the postal service back here. So let's turn this here, and we'll drop that in right there. And it's not perfect, but it does the trick for for what we need it to do. Just to kind of give that feel of access back there. And then we're going to come in here and let's add a fence in here to kind of cover it. You know, give them some restricted access. As a government building, you know, we'll come out here. Oops. Come on. Give me there we go. Work with me. There we are. And there we go. So that kind of gives the Postal Service access back here to get to the things that they need to, as well as if they would need some parking or anything like that. But there is always the parking over here as well. So that kind of, I think those two assets really help, as well as provide those services to the people. Now, one of the things this post office doesn't do, if we come in here, is it's not a functioning post office. It's just Puerto Rico office. But I think it adds to the effect. So if we come back, another thing that is kind of naked and, you know, really just not, I mean, I think it looks great, right? So as you're coming down this road, you see the school and you see all the extracurricular fields, but I feel like having this as a main through road and having this just open, I feel like this would be fenced off, at least in some fashion, even if it is just fenced off around the individual facilities. But I think for us, we're going to come in and we're going to add a different kind of fence, and one that I think would fit, you know, really because it's just meant to be kind of a barrier rather than any sort of protection, so to speak. It's more meant to deter. Is I think a really good fit is this farm fence here. So we're going to come in here. We're going to turn off our grid. We're going to turn off our road guidelines because I want this to come right along the road here. We're also going to pause real quick because I want to turn off collision, and I want to see, because we're going to bring it down along there as well. So I think if we just bring it to, say, there, and then we'll bring it up to, say, there. Then if we look, I think we can get away with coming right along the backside of the funeral home, and we'll bring it right to about there. And now we can turn on our road guidelines and curve it, and we'll just fit it in like that. And I think that kind of frames the school area very well. You know, it adds that kind of barrier, but you know that's kind of the school there. As well as, like, let's say over here, you know, a soccer ball gets kicked over, you know, the fence has a chance of stopping it, but even if it doesn't stop it, we're not going to have kids or anybody else just running straight out into the street. There'll be some kind of, you know, a little bit of protection there, which I think would be nice. I don't really want to obstruct this view, but I do want to add some form of like plant, like tree. So I think if we come in here, we have the fir trees from the last time. What were they? Douglas, I think, right? Douglas. Yeah, here we go. And we had these smaller ones. And so I think if we bring in these smaller ones and we just run them along here, you know, this doesn't really obstruct the view of the school. But it does add to the look and feel of the school without overdoing it. So, and again, just kind of along here, we'll stop there, and then we'll just add a few more in for our own personal taste. And that really doesn't block the view of the school, but it lets you know that it's part of the framing of the property of the school and where the kids are at. That would allow the kids to be able to play out here without, you know, not having any sort of access or anything like that. So eventually I'd like to do something along here. Let's see what else we have. You know, maybe we can find something good to kind of put along these areas. Let's search for a bush, some form of bush. Let's see. Yeah, you're a little too much. You're not a bush at all. It's not a bad bush. Um, you know, this might not actually be bad if we just replace these along here. You know, that adds a little bit of character to the front of the school. We can do the same thing along this side here. And probably the same thing right here. Let's start just a little bit more in, see if we can get a little bit more centered. There we go. I think that helps a little bit. Let's see, what else do we have here? That's a simple bush. Adds a little more color. Adds a little color. That's actually a pretty bush. Let's see, what happens if we... What's this look like? So we don't want to block our sign. So we'll come down here. Oh, it actually changes on us. So let's go back this way. And we'll move our sign. What do I think? Is that too much? I think we can let it go for now. Let's see. So then if we start here, and then we'll curve it. Let's start here. Not quite enough curve. How's that? We'll have to take it a little slower. There we go. That just gives a little bit more flavor to the school area. Doesn't block that sign from that coming that way. But I do think we want to move you. And we'll bring you out like that. There we go. So that gives us just a little bit more flavor, a little bit more flair along the school there. Let's see. Probably ought to go ahead and run it along here too. Just to make sure that it's consistent. And I think that's pretty good. That adds a little bit more to the school area, a little bit more decoration. I'm not a landscape architect by any means. But I think it makes it feel a little bit nicer, you know, as you're coming down the road, you know, you see the school there, and you have the beautiful flowered bushes there. What about over here? You know, for consistency, let's see. What else do we have from a bush standpoint that we can use? That's small. That's a bit much. It's not bad. That's pretty neat looking. Let's see. It's a bit much. There, we can use something like this. And we can just run it from sign to sign here. And we will grab this sign and we're just going to bring it over. There we go. And I think that, you know, kind of gives some separation between where the buses would go, where you drop off your kids. And we probably ought to do the same thing over here at our other school. Just kind of give it a nice feel to it. Let's see. So again, in between signs, we don't need to make this one too much. There we go. And then we'll move this sign just over just a hair. There we go. So again, just a little bit of feel to it there. All right. So next thing the town needs is, I mean, to be honest, you know, when we look at our park areas, we're missing some pretty significant areas. You know, we have a big swath through here, kind of coming down and around. over to there. And if we look, as this starts to develop, you can see it's starting to miss out over here as well. So I'd like to try and address that a little bit. I think one of the ways I'd like to try and address that is using some form of like public pool / park space. Where I grew up and where I live now, there's pools nearby, and during the summer days, it is very refreshing to be able to go swimming. So I think, you know, the pool, in all the pools I'm familiar with, they tend to be definitely in more residential area, but they're not that far from commercial areas. So they are kind of set back, but there is access like to the commercial area. So if you go to the pool and then you decide you want a bite to eat, you could just walk to wherever you wanted to go eat. And they tend to get further out from that, but they are usually still within walking distance of kind of the commercial services. So looking at the larger gap that we have here, you know, we're not going to be able to service, because really we'd want to service up here and kind of this area, down here, over here, and then up here. So kind of 4 areas. So I'm thinking, you know, in order to hit, I think we probably ought to do something over in this area. And to me, kind of a good space for that's going to be right here. We already have a kind of a dead end, you know, this road kind of dead ends here. And so I think, you know, we could use this space as a nice little park space. So let's go through. We need to get rid of our housing. So let's just get rid of you guys. Sorry, folks. We're taking your homes for a pool. And then, let's see, let's go. What would it be? Swimming? Is that what I had it under? No. Pool. All right. So we have a community pool and we have a city pool. Now, one of the things with this is that you have to be careful is that the community pool is actually a healthcare facility rather than a park amenity. So that's why I have this city pool here. That private pool is pretty neat looking, but we're really looking for this city pool. Now this city pool is very bland and basic, but it's nice in the sense that, you know, you have an entryway, it's already fenced off, which is nice. But as you can see, like there's not a whole lot of decoration. There's not you know, there's not chairs over here. There's not any sort of umbrellas or anything like that. So I think first thing we want to do is come in here and we want to get some parking in. And so I want to make sure people are able to park. So let's grab you and let's just bring you down here. How about, I think we need to go there. Nope, I was incorrect. We need to go there. And then we're going to come over. We're going to turn off our road guidelines and road length. Actually, probably leave road length on, but I want to turn off snapping and see what this looks like. And I think that will work, because if we come in here and change that, there we go. So I think that works out well. We can put a decent amount of parking right in there for the pool's sake. But let's actually upgrade that to filler, because then we can wrap it around if we wanted to. We have enough space over here. Let's see. Let's turn back on snapping. And let's turn off snapping again. Come on. Okay. So there we go. And looks like we need to flip these. There we go. And now we can go ahead and put in our parking. So let's find our parking. And that did not do what I wanted it to do. Let's try again. No? You're gonna be difficult with me? Okay. There we go. And it looks like we have a weird issue going on. So let's see if we can solve that by, you know what? Let's move you. I need to move you. Let's see if we can solve that by aligning these to there. Negative. All right. Well, we may just have to live with that. Let's go back to our parking lot roads, and I want to see if we can. Let's see what happens if I do that. I don't want that there, but I do want. And then does my clipper? No. Okay. So we'll have to fix that. I was hoping that maybe I could give like some curbs over there, but it doesn't really seem to like that all that much. So, but you know what? Let's see. I do have these curbs. Let's see what that looks like if we put it. Let's not do road length. We're just going to plop you there. What do you look like? Yeah, I like that. You know what? Why don't we grab that and let's copy it. And then let's just put this at the ends here for both of these. Yeah, see, I think that looks pretty good. You know, we'll just have to ignore the strange divot that's going on there. That must have something to do with the ground underneath. Maybe it's not perfectly level or didn't do what I thought it was going to do. And then if we come in here, we can let's grab a park. And let's see, what do we have for playgrounds? So we have our large playground, which is, I think, a bit too large. We have our smaller playground, and then we have this kiosk with playground. And I think that fits in pretty nicely. Yeah, you know, they could, if they wanted to, off this sidewalk, walk straight over there. But that kind of gives it a nice kind of park area. You know, since we have the pine trees, let's take a look here and see. Let me see if I can get you. And what happens if we decide, let's see, let's go here. Let's change our distance a little bit. And let's see if we can just kind of add a good feel over here to this area. Let's see. Let's bring you back. There we go. And we'll start you about here. And I think if we do that, and then let's curve. There we go. And that kind of just frames in the park area. You can still walk through, you know, public space. But I think that looks pretty good. And that gives people a place to go swimming, gives a little park and a playground. Now, let's see, just because this doesn't have any, let's see if we have... let's see. How about, let's see, deck chairs? Yeah, I think we could probably get away with using, you know, some deck chairs here. Let's grab that. And let's see. We'll turn you. And we'll just kind of put them along here. And then I think we could do the same on this side. Those are the diving boards. which, well, I guess those are the diving boards. Those are the launching pads for swimming. Okay. And then we can kind of do the same thing over here. We'll just kind of throw these in for people to use if they want to sit at the pool and enjoy. And I'd like to see, I'm pretty sure I probably have somewhere some umbrellas. So there we go. Let's see. And we can place one here. We'll put one back there. Maybe a green one there. One over there. We'll put some deck chairs over there. Let's see. One there. And yeah, I don't really want a black one. So let's see. Put a white one there. And let's go grab our deck chairs again. And we'll just kind of throw a couple over here. There we go. Yeah, and that gives, that at least adds something to the pool, you know, where people would actually sit. And a little bit more than the plain pool that it was. So I think that looks pretty good. Let's see what that did for our park area. Well, let's run the game first. And then we'll see what it did for our park area. So it definitely helped improve the area a little bit. We're still hurting in some areas. Let's see. What do we have? So we have, you know what we're missing? We are missing a place for people to play basketball. So let's look at our basketball options. And let's see. So we have, let's come up here. We have you and we have you. So that's a little more run down than I'd like. So I think we'll go with this one. So if we come in here, we can turn, let's see. I think we'll do it. Let's see, where's the least amount of damage? Probably here. So let's come in and get rid of you. And let's add our basketball court. Let's see, if we add it there, then we can actually throw in, we can actually replace some of these homes here. So it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too barren, but it still adds to the park effect. So while we've made a dent in it, there is still definitely some areas of opportunity here. Let's see. I think we want to go ahead, since we already have it here. I think we just want to go ahead and add in an area here as well. So I need to turn collision back on. And let's go back to our park. So thinking the good area, because we know that this area is well served just because of that, but we're missing some out here, and I don't really want to expand further out here. So I think there will do the least amount of removal of the least amount of removal of zonable space right there. And then from a park standpoint, we still have some pretty significant areas of opportunity. Let's see, what else do we have? Tropical garden, dog park. Let's see, flowery passage. I mean, that's a small one, but I feel like that would need to be Well, I mean, right there might not be bad. Let's add that in. That gives a nice little park garden area. Just some green space to make things a little nicer. Not a huge effect. We're talking only 50 entertainment, but still something. Let's see, what else do we have here? Public park fountain, small neighborhood park. It's a larger area. What do we got? Children and dog park. That's not a bad one. Let's see. Maybe that can be something that helps. Oh, that is. Oh, and I see it. It doesn't snap. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll leave it for there now. There's definitely a need for more amenities, but I think that kind of gets us moving in the right direction, kind of helps increase the property values of the area. Let's see what those are right now. Yeah, so you can see there's definitely some low property value area over here, but this is much larger over here. And I think as these houses upgrade, we'll see the property values continue to climb in this area. So I think that really kind of covers the larger bits of kind of cleaning up and helping improve kind of the look and feel of the town. The last bit, and this was actually the bit I was working on when the game crashed on me. The last bit that I think we should look at doing is, even though we don't have a huge amount of demand for it, we are going to see our demand increase over time as this area fills in. But even though we don't have it, I'd like to go ahead and get in our kind of shopping center over here. Kind of just a very, bog standard kind of shopping plaza. And there's tons of great assets for this on the workshop. So I think what we want to do, rather than, in looking at how we want to access this area, and when I look at the land, because I really do want to see, I need this. I really do want to see kind of how flat the area is. You can see that it's a fairly flat area, but we start backing up pretty quickly into this significant hill right here at the coastline. So I think this is a good area to build that kind of shopping area in, as well as we have traffic coming in from the interstate there, so that's one of the things that they see as they go along. And so rather than trying to come off the high school here, we have our more contemporary main street right here with the parking and everything. I think if we come off of there and bring it back over here, I think that will be much better in the long run for what we're hoping to achieve with this. So let's grab our service road. We're going to come out. I want to turn on my road length and my grid. We're going to come out there. And then I think we're just going to bring this over here for now. And then, as you can see, like we can't build along this, so we got to turn our zoning on along here. So if we come in here, let's go to our Rico, let's go here. And I think, this we have a number of different options, right? So we have this kind of full brick aesthetic. We have kind of this older brick and stone aesthetic. And then we also have this kind of white and brick aesthetic. And so we have a couple of different options we can go for. I think for the purpose of this, I think this old brick aesthetic is a little bit more feel for the town. It's an older shopping center. It was put in because they wanted a kind of a central place to go. And so I think that's going to be a better fit and feel for us. So we have a number of different kind of structures that fit that theme. So let's go through and take a look here. There's an empty one. There's a food line. That's a fairly large one, but it doesn't, as you can see, like the edges don't really line up flat like they do with that structure. So I think we'll avoid that. And we don't want this too big, right? Like it's a small town. It's not a massive shopping plaza. So I think if we can put like put O'Charlie's there. You know what though? O'Charlie's, you're gonna disappoint me, aren't you? Yeah, because you don't really line up the way you're supposed to. So let's get rid of you. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's see, Shoe Carnival. I think that one will work. What did we have up here? We had a GameStop. I think that looks pretty good. We have a GNC. I think we had the Bad Hombres. So get a restaurant in there where folks can go. Let's see. FedEx, that's a different style. We already have our GameStop, GNC. Let's skip Little Caesars for now. I want to put some space between food establishments. Let's see. Schlotsky's would go kind of in the back. It's not really the same style, so I don't know that we want that one. Again, there's Subway. Staples is a different style. We can throw T-Mobile in there. And then I think we'd be good to throw our Subway in. Then let's go back and grab our Little Caesars. And then let's see, what else do we have before we kind of clean it up. So there was T-Mobile. And then let's throw in a generic, just to have one there. And actually, you know what? Let's separate Little Caesars, and we'll put our generic right there. And then we'll put our Little Caesars. Give them some separation between the two food establishments. And now one of the things that we're missing is the other side, right? Like we don't have the other side, but we don't need another Shoe Carnival. But if I'm not mistaken, and bear with me while I find it here, you know, Party City's obviously the wrong style. We already have our Shoe Carnival, but I feel like I thought I had a generic Shoe Carnival, but I don't. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here, we're gonna grab Move It, and we're gonna rotate this just so it fits, and then we'll come into Bob here. We're gonna go into Bob and logo Shoe Carnival, and let's see, we've got a Luigi's Pizzeria. I don't know that Macy's would work. Let's see what other. Let's see what that looks like. There's liquor store. Let's see what other signs we have going on here. I'm sure we can find something that would kind of help us get through this. Let's see, what's another good corner store? Well, let's see if we have our no, we don't have our we don't have a Staples sign. We have a Shoe Carnival. What else would be in here? How about a Big Apple Grocery? I think we can replace that there. Oh, you know what though? We're gonna have to revert that real quick. Let's see, let's revert you. And let's see. I want to do just this building. And I think if we go to, that's the front one, those are the side ones. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to actually be able to change just that building. I really thought I could have. But, okay, well, you know, while it's not ideal, it still does give the same feel to this just being a small shopping center. So let's go ahead, and we're actually going to get rid of that because we don't want that to go all the way out. We just kind of wanted to mesh with the length of the building. So now we can add in our parking lot spaces. So let's bring these over all the way there, and then it's a little too much, so can add in. And looks like our one's not going to quite snap the way we want, but that's okay. We can overlap and achieve the same result. And we'll do the same there. And then if we grab that one, we can do the same here. And we just got to fill in down at the end. Now let's come back up and move our node controller. And we're going to move that in. All right, so we have everything we need here. What's interesting for me now that I'm watching all of this truck traffic, let's find what are you all doing and why. So you're turning. Are you being forced to turn? I don't like that. So first things first, let's square that up. And I don't like the fact that the trucks, why are the trucks turning, but the vehicles were going straight? Not a fan of that. Especially when they don't have a whole lot of need to go here. See, our vehicles will go straight. But let's see, this semi will probably pull in there, loop back around. No, it went straight too. So maybe it just had to work its way through the system. Okay, no, I'm okay with that then, if that's the way it's going. And then, you know, they're needing some workers, but I think the others are doing fine. So, you know, that's our little shopping center. I would like to add some trees or bushes along here. Let's go back in here and go back to our bushes. And I think, yeah, I think this kind of helps separate, keeps the names of the buildings, you know, keeps those visible, but it does block the vehicles. That's actually a little big. That's a little small. Let's see. That's bigger. That's way too big. I'd like to find something a little smaller. Yeah, here we go. That's not too bad. Let's grab our line tool. And, oh, but see, we have the terrain issue as well. And we fix this to fix the... We fix that to fix the school side of it. So I'm thinking our bushes actually probably need to run closer to the roadway here. In order to achieve what we're going after. So there we go. So that when you're coming down the road, you don't necessarily see, you know, this horrible little lip right here, but you do see, you still see the shopping center. So while we have 2 shoe carnivals, which we'll just have to live with, I really like the look of that, and I think it's gone very well. I'm actually also going to add in a fence along this side, and actually before I do that, let's go into the road here. So these deliveries are all happening up front, and while I'm not going to change this in every commercial building, so like along the main strip and everything, those will still happen in front. Most deliveries happen in the back of the building. Some happen in the front, but I think we can add to this. So let's come over here and find, we need just, I don't think that's the one we're looking for. That might not be the one we're looking for. Where's it at? I think this is more of what we're after. So if we come up here, and I think we're going to turn off road length and grid, because I want this to run right along the back side of this. There we go. So that would allow for delivery vehicles to go in the back, and we can actually fix that. So let's move that, come up here and grab our spawn points, and let's add a point, and let's bring that to the back, and let's flip it around, and we're gonna add cargo truck. We'll also add a garbage truck to that, and then we'll get rid of them up here, and then we'll get out of that one, and we'll do the same thing. We'll go ahead and do the same thing to all the rest of these buildings. All right, so now we should have all of our spawn points set up. We'll just go through and double check real quick, make sure I didn't miss any removal of any vehicles, so we don't have double spawns for the cargo truck or double garbage truck. I think we're good though. I think we got them all. Nope, I was incorrect. We missed one. All right, see, so yeah, now he's delivering to the back. This one came through, but he may have already been in process, so we just changed his pathing. But that one came to the back. This one comes to the back. I think that's just a much better delivery method rather than delivering to the front of these, as well as it doesn't obstruct traffic. Now, one of the things that also allows us to do is we can then come in here and grab this, and we can turn off cargo trucks on all of those roads. So they have to go to the back as well. And then we don't impair their deliveries. So let's go ahead and come in here, and we're just going to add a fence along the edge here, just to kind of, actually, you know what? No, I think we have something a little different. We have planters, and I had somewhere, and it might be in our trees, maybe somewhere we have actual, here we go, we have these things, and I think this, let's pause, let's turn on crop and tree anarchy, All right, so it's not going to cooperate. That's fine. We can use move it to do what we want to do. So put this on. Let's grab move it, and let's select you, and let's just move you into place right there. And that gives some decoration along there. Can't do anything about the concrete on that side, but that's okay. I still think it adds a little bit of look and feel. I wonder, let's go into our node controller. Let's see if I can add a node there. And then if I come out, I go into move it. I can grab this and bring this out. And that kind of gives it a better look and feel. Let's turn off. I want to turn off roads. I'm going to grab you. I'm just going to bring you out like that. There we go. Now that kind of just fills in and covers up that a little bit. And I think that works much better for us. Looks a lot better, and kind of frames that side of the shopping center. So overall, I'm really happy with the way that turned out. I think that's going to add quite a bit to the commercial side of the town, and we've done quite a bit of good work here so far. Last thing I want to do is I want to come over here, because as we look at our demand here, obviously our commercials barely visible, and sometimes in this case not visible. Our residential still growing, but we're also still there's still some area to fill in for that, but we are seeing an increase in our commercial demand. I'd like to come over here and add in some more commercial spacing, but I also don't want to overzone this, so we're going to leave a little bit of a gap here, and we're just going to come in and we'll zone in right here. Now, I'm not going to zone this right here because I don't want a building backing up right against this road, but I think as it fills in with the others, with the other areas, that we'll still have some space there. Another thing too, kind of in the same vein as the fencing, is that, a commercial area like this is, oh, hang on here. Let's go to move it, and actually this is just, if I'm not mistaken, that's just zoned. Yep. So let's just get rid of that, burn down. Apparently our fire station right there was not able to get to it. But I think our industrial zoning, it's an eyesore. But I think there'd be some form of kind of buffer to that eyesore along the backside of it. So if we go back to our fences, we could probably find something that kind of creates a barrier to that is a little bit better, just better suited for this. So this privacy fence may work. So let's grab this and whoops, that's what's going on. Let's go down here. Let's grab our privacy fence, and let's grab, and we're just going to kind of come along our roadway all the way around. So this will kind of buffer the effect of the, oh, come on. Can get a little too close to the road and makes it harder to place. Game doesn't necessarily like could have turned off collision, I guess, and kind of solve that problem. But no matter, we're almost there, and I think this will do, for the most part, exactly what it is that we're wanting it to do, which is kind of, for the workers, who are leaving, you know, kind of provide them with a little bit of buffer to the jobs that they're going home for the day from. They don't necessarily want to see where they've just spent all day. So we'll give them a break from that. So let's see. Yeah. If we bring it there, and just continue all along here, and we'll just go until we hit the next roadway, which is right there. There we go. Yeah, so that, you know, that just kind of provides some little buffer along the roadway there for them. And you know, if I'm truth be told, if I'm honest, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that building and grab a straight fence. Actually, before it decides to refill, we'll get rid of that. And it already did. All right, let's go back to our fence. And now we're gonna pause because I'm gonna turn off collision. And then we're gonna curve. And we'll just come to right there. So that just kind of frames the industrial area. Gives folks driving on the road a little bit of a buffer from the industrial buildings. Not much, you know, but they can at least choose to ignore it if they want to, without costing us too much in the way of zonable space. So pretty happy with that. So I think we're kind of reaching the peak of, oops, hang on. I need to turn collision back on. So we're kind of reaching where I wanted this in the initial part of this city to go. I think next time, you know, we'll maybe come in, do a few tweaks, you know, give some suggestions in the comments of anything you saw. You know, I'm happy to hear, you know, what you guys would like to see me do next. But I think, you know, in the next episode, you know, we're going to kind of let this area grow, and kind of be for the time being. And I think what we want to do is kind of move on, and start another small little town for us. You know, this industrial park will eventually fill out as we fill out across the county. And so I'm thinking our next area where I'd like to build, you know, we've got the power station here. I'm thinking that we'll come off of this interchange here and kind of build over in this area. So let me know if you guys have any suggestions, and if you like the video, please, you know, do give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified, or if you want to see the next video when it comes out, and ring that bell if you want to be notified when it comes out. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.